New details in the wake of Tropical Storm Isaias. Months after that storm crippled Connecticut, leaving hundreds of thousands of people in the dark for days, the state's report is now out. State regulators are now weighing their options and considering punishments against Connecticut's two largest electric companies.
Eversource and United Illuminating could face strong fines over what state regulators called failures in their preparation and response to the storm last August. The Public Utilities Regulatory Authority issuing a unanimous ruling today. PURA is now ordering both Eversource and UI to improve how they respond to major storms. The ruling also reduces both companies' profits. While the companies await further punishment and potential fines, PURA says that money won't be going back into customers' pockets.
The penalties that the authority may impose on one or both of the EDCs are not recoverable from ratepayers. They are recoverable from the shareholders of Eversource and UI. Number two, the first question that was posed is, does today's decision address cost recovery associated with the tropical storm? No. While the authority cannot preclude Eversource or UI from eventually seeking cost recovery, it was not sought in this proceeding, nor does today's decision address it or allow it.
Well, we reached out to both companies for response on the report by PURA. Eversource releasing a statement saying, quote, "We stand by our response in Storm Isaias. As we know, our thousands of employees showed skill and dedication in restoring power to customers as quickly as possible. There are many areas for improvement that we are already addressing, and we continue to work in good faith with our communities, customers, and regulators to improve our performance." United Illuminating also releasing a statement expressing disappointment in the ruling. The company said, quote, "We are mindful of the deficiencies cited by PURA, and we are well aware of the difficulties that extended outages cause for customers. However, we believe the facts clearly support that UI faithfully followed its emergency response plan and met the overall targets therein."